Hey everyone, happy Tuesday and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Successful Stylist Academy podcast. I am your host, Ambrosia Carey, and I want to start out with thanking you guys for supporting us. And I want to actually give a huge shout out to Tiger Lost Her Marbles for her recent 5-star review, which helps the right people find our show. It's the best way to support us. And to drop a review in the Apple podcast means the world to us. She called us genuine and lovable. She said, I love this podcast because it shines light on some hard topics in the beauty industry. The hosts are so authentic with their advice and willing to share their knowledge. Thank you so much. Tiger lost her marbles. And so now today we are going to move into a really awesome topic for you guys. It's something that a lot of hairstylists struggle with. And I am excited to chat with my girl, Maddie, on this subject because Maddie is a 22-year-old commission-based hairstylist located in Shorewood, Illinois. And she is super passionate about the industry. She's passionate about educating her clients and building an effective roadmap and taking care of the hair and having a great routine, creating beautiful hair. So today we're going to be talking about selling retail in the salon. Welcome, Maddie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I love your spirit. I love your knowledge. And I love that you're such a go-getter, Maddie. Like, I just feel like going after this earlier in your career and the fact that you've been able to make really awesome relationships and using retail as a tool that's going to help empower your clients and make a better relationship with them. It's really cool to watch what you've been doing. So I want to ask you first, though, before we start diving into the meat and potatoes, what inspired you to become a hairstylist?
Of course. What really has inspired me growing up, my inspiration, I feel, really comes from just all things beauty. I have always loved trying fun hairstyles on myself or my cousins and spending hours doing like nail art and just playing with makeup. I have always used beauty as a creative outlet for myself. And as I got older, I began to realize that I wouldn't be happy going to college or doing any other career.
That's awesome that you recognize that so early on in your life, because I think sometimes a lot of us aren't really sure what we want to do. I mean, I know for a fact for me personally, I didn't know that this was going to be a lifelong career. I just thought maybe it was a way to get me back into college or something, or, so how cool is it that you have been passionate about from the very beginning? And I feel like it really shows in the work that you do and just the relationships that you make and how strong you've been a force in with Successful Stylist Academy. You've been our lead ambassador now for a couple of years. So it's been really cool to watch you blossom and grow. I want to also know what has helped you grow the most so far in your career.
Yeah. So definitely staying involved in education and the courses and coaching that comes with Successful Stylist Academy. It has been a great platform for me that has given me a belonging since the very start of my career. I mean, when I was coming out onto the floor, we had just began this pandemic and I was feeling stuck. And it's given me so much support as well, especially from a group of stylists that I've never even met before. And along with that, it's also helped build my confidence a lot, especially since it's the beginning of my career. And I think I've experienced the most support from this group of ladies. It means so much to me. And within the last year of my career, I have stepped out of my comfort zone. I left my first salon to work at another one shortly during the beginning of the summer. And then I transferred into working out of my home. And I feel like all of these experiences have taught me different things about the kind of stylist that I want to be, the kind of salon that I want to work in, the things that I don't want in a salon, but most importantly, my worth.
It's my heart just hearing that. I love the fact your journey so far has been amazing. And first of all, I completely forgot that you were building your clientele during the beginning of our shutdown and the whole pandemic. How crazy is that to think about? I mean, a lot of stylists in our industry are in the same boat as you. And just to highlight that, the fact that you have been able to do that, to shift and to really evaluate your environment and where you are, where you want to be and what nurtures you. finding us as a community to be able to support that. I just love that I got to be a small sliver of that journey for you and help you kind of like decipher some of that stuff. So very cool. And then has retail always been easy for you? I guess retail is like such a challenge for so many stylists. So I really want you to talk about like your journey as, you know, an expert in that and being able to talk about retail and just do it so confidently. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't something that came easy to me in the beginning. I mean, when you're presented with the opportunity to try and start selling retail in beauty school, like you're so nervous, you don't know where to start, and you're still in the midst of learning so much product knowledge. So it was not easy for me at all in the beginning, but I feel like within the past 2 years, I've become a lot more confident with selling retail because I find it so important to educate my clients about building an effective hair care routine for them.
That's so good. So you make it about them and you really kind of associate it with how it actually helps them. And you make that more important than your fear of trying to actually sell it. You don't think of it as selling it.
I think of it more of like teaching. And I think that's the most important part about it. Like the most important part about it. And if you're not teaching your clients about how to use products, then you're not doing your job.
Oh my God. Yes, girl, snaps all the way for that. Now I want to know, okay, so like if we take all this and we roll it up into some tangible assets, you know, I love those tips, girl. You know, I love to have the top 5 tips. So what are your top 5 tips to help hairstylists sell retail to clients and have a better association with them?
For sure. My first one, really important, show and tell will help you sell. Making sure that you're showing the clients what you're using it, when you're using it. I always do that. They want to know what you're using, and it's teaching them, and that's going to help them build more trust with you. And when they build that trust with you, they're going to be more likely to buy from you. So I find that the most important thing about selling, probably. And then second, I would say teach your clients how to use it. So for example, dry shampoo, it's a really commonly misused product. And it's something that can be taught so easily by just taking a minute of your time while you're styling their hair at the end, maybe, and showing them how to just section your hair, to spray it, where to spray it, and how far away you should be spraying it as well, because that's all going to help them when they are using their products at home. And then third, I would say create a unique hair care routine. For everybody, they're going to have different needs, and everyone's hair is going to be different, whether it's colored or it's maybe compromised from heat damage. So it all depends on those kinds of things, and making sure that you're giving them what they need to take care of their hair at home. Next, I would say another really big thing you can do to help sell retail is actually when you post on social media. You can be posting on your stories. You can be showing your routine, and people are going to be interested about what you're using and showing how you're using it as well. Even if there's like a new product that comes out and you share it in your story and just put a little bit of information below about it, about why it's important or what it does for you, that's a really big help as well. Because I feel like sometimes when my clients come back to my chair, they're like, hey, I saw that leave-in conditioner that you were using. That sounds really cool. Okay, well, you can buy it here. You know what I mean? So that one's a really good tip as well. And this last one is also a really huge point for me too when selling retail. And like I said, selling, it's more like teaching, because that's the most important thing about it. Would be inform your clients about practicing healthy habits. I always make sure that I'm talking about, creating a better habit with people, especially washing their hair. It's something that is a misconception around washing your hair and how often you should be, because most people you ask, they're going to be asking, oh, is it okay that I wash my hair every day? I wash it every other day. Well, this is why you shouldn't be doing that. And so you kind of just go into detail about how it could be healthier for your scalp if you start lengthening the time between your washes. And so I talk about that a lot with my clients, and it always feels really rewarding when they start taking those tips and they come back to me and they're like, hey, I've actually made it 2 days without washing my hair. I'm starting to get to a better place with the way that my hair feels. It's not feeling as greasy, not feeling as oily. So things like that also really big too, because when you're teaching them about how to practice healthier habits, they're going to want to purchase those products. They're going to help make their routine healthier. The shampoo that's going to hydrate their hair, the heat protectant that's going to give them the protection and the styling, the dry shampoo that's going to help absorb the oils while you're waiting before your next hair wash. Things like that I all find really important.
Maddie, I love your mindset with this. And what were you saying again? Selling retail. Wait, no, what was that phrase again? Like that you said in the very beginning.
Oh, show and tell will help you sell.
Show and tell will help you sell. I love that. It's like that rhyme. It's like it's such a nice mantra. Like I love that I'm talking about misusing product and catering their experience to make it more unique for them.
Yeah.
Sharing that your routine too, posting on social. That's such a great idea. I think sometimes people don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like clients don't know what we know. And so practicing those healthy habits and showing them how to practice those healthy habits at home can make a huge difference in the kind of relationship that you build. And it's that trust factor too. So I love that you kind of bring it full circle with that and you make it more about that, like just supporting them in their journey. So what do you feel? What do you feel is the best time during the service to talk about retail? Do you do it through the whole time or the beginning, the end? Like, do you have a favorite time you talk about that?
Honestly, I do it a lot throughout the entire part of the service because you are using several things during the service. I don't try to talk too much of it at the shampoo bowl because you want to try to give them relaxing like shampoo. So I might say the kind of shampoo I'm using on them, but I won't really go into detail about it. So honestly, when I'm putting the products in before a blow dry is when I get a little bit more in depth with it. Or if I'm just doing their haircut and I start asking them about how often they wash their hair and what kind of products they could start using into their routine. So I kind of mix it up about when I do it, but the consultation also I find is a good spot to include products they should be using as well. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I think that this would be a great match for you. I'm actually going to try it on you today to let you get a feel for it, see how you like it. They're like, oh, okay. They like that. I mean, of course I was going to try it on you. So they like that.
I love that you get it in their hands too, because you mentioned that once before where you said that you would physically put the products in their hands. Do you actually do you pump it into their hands, like the product itself, or do you hand the bottle to them? Like, is there just to get that touch factor? Do you let them kind of like feel the product and put it in their own hair? Like, is there kind of a routine that you have with that process?
A little bit of both. I usually let them like hold the product bottle if they wanted to look at it. Otherwise, if it was like a cream or an oil, I'll actually like let them feel it in their hands. Or even, another good one, like men's hair product, like the pomades. Those are really good to let them feel, and then they'll try to like put it in their own hair and they're like, oh, I think I like the way this feels, because there's so many kinds of textures when it comes to those products that they don't like the way like maybe the texture feels, or if it feels too like greasy and things like that. So it helps give them truly a better feel for what they're using.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that because there are so many different types of pomades too. Like some of them can be like really hard and stiff. And so I think sometimes people think that all pomades are that way, even though that's not the case. Like there could be a clay-based pomade, or there can be like a more of a wet or creamy. So that's cool that you put it in their hands and you let them kind of feel it out for themselves. So when you're selling, or do you set like a retail goal when you are talking about retail? Do you think about goals when it comes to that? Or do you have like a favorite, like, I don't know, like in the morning when you first come in, do you have like a goal that you set for your own retail strategies?
So at my salon, they are actually providing me with a goal based on my level to hit for my retail total every month. And that's been really helping me. I've actually exceeded my goal for the last 2 months in a row. So I'm really proud of myself. And being able to do that is going to give me something to work for so that I can jump levels. And that's only one part of the level jumping system, but it is a really important part of it as well. But I think the most um, rewarding feeling is just knowing that I'm helping others maintain their healthiest hair.
That's good. So you make a direct association, like psychologically, you just know you're helping them. You have a goal that's set. And I know that that obviously is set by the salon owner. And because you have a level system within your salon, which not everyone
Yes.
has, it's good to know that you at least have a goal that you like to go off of. If they didn't set a goal for you,
Mhm.
do you feel like you would have a goal in mind? Like you would want to sell like maybe one retail item, or at least make sure that you're talking about every single one that you do? Or do you like make notes or anything like that when you do make a recommendation?
Yeah, I would say if I didn't have any goals in place already, I think just consciously, I'd probably have a goal of making sure that I am selling at least 1 to 2 products per person. And even if they didn't, then I'm feeling good knowing that I still educated them on what would be best to guarantee that their color is going to last or their hair is going to be hydrated, things like that.
Have you ever run into situations where you recommend a product and then the next time you see them, you recommend something completely different? Or do you make notes of it and then you try to reinforce like what you were recommending before?
Yeah, I definitely think I just try to reinforce what I've recommended in the first place. It's going to help them become more familiar with what you're talking about because they might think, oh, I think she's talked about that before. And if you're just creating that conversation within every visit, then that's going to help build the trust between you and your client. And they're going to feel more likely to want to try it out.
I think that's a key thing. Like you've talked several times about building trust. And I think part of building trust is reinforcing things that you said before, because maybe the first time they're not in the right headspace, or maybe they need to try it out for themselves at home and with the
Yeah.
products they do have. And then when they come back in to see you, they realize, okay, what I have at home is not close enough to what she's using. So maybe I actually do need to use that. So I think that's an important piece of it. And I just want to mirror or echo that, like you saying that. So I think it's really good. Okay, so now I want to get into the difficult question, which is something that I think happens a lot in our industry. Like I see people posting about it a lot. I see
Yeah.
even when I'm coaching, there are people who ask me about this, that they get frustrated about it. What do you do when you recommend a retail item to a client and they just kind of say no thank you, or they're not interested in purchasing that item that you suggested to them?
Yeah. It's something that happens often. And the best thing that you can do is, like I said, keep having those conversations if they're coming back into your chair, or letting them know the consequences of what will happen to their hair if they're using X, Y, and Z. If you're using products from the drugstore, it's not going to guarantee the same color protection that this shampoo is going to. This is a professional shampoo. It will guarantee that your color will last longer. But I can't guarantee that what you're using is. So I will dive in a little bit about some facts about drugstore shampoo, but in a way that is not making them feel bad about it, but just helping them learn because people aren't going to know unless you tell them.
That is so true. And you're also not like shaming them by letting them know, like, how dare you use that product? It's more like
Yeah,
it is an extension of your education. Like you're literally educating
exactly.
them and letting them know, if you use this product, it cannot guarantee the longevity or results of
Yes.
this. But if you do use this, I can guarantee that your color will last longer. And that is a sure way of letting them know that, like, for a fact that this stuff is going to work well for them and you feel more comfortable with them using it. But if they want to take their chances, that you can revisit it again. And you even said it earlier, like even if they don't purchase that product necessarily that time around, if you talk about it, you can still remind them the next time, or you can reinforce force it the next time. So even though they didn't get it now, that doesn't mean they won't get it in the future. And at
Exactly.
least you're being consistent in doing that piece too.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
definitely makes me feel good about it, especially when they're taking in that information. They're having these light bulb moments when they're like, oh, maybe that's why my color isn't lasting as long and I should just take a shot and try this new product out.
A while back, you did something really cool where you were posting your own giveaway. And I can't remember if it was for reviews or for referrals or something like that. And I thought it was so
Yeah.
great that you
For
did that.
reviews.
Yeah, and you did it on your own. And I just thought that it was so great. I mean, just the
Thank
fact that
you.
you are a commission stylist and you're on your own space, but you were handling this like your own business because it truly is your business. And so
Of course.
tell us about that. How successful was it? And I think you've done a couple now so far. So how has that gone for you?
Yeah, I've done a few giveaways with different like purposes behind them. That review writing a review giveaway was a really awesome opportunity for me. I was a new stylist at a salon full of a lot of established stylists, and I wanted my name to show up on the Facebook reviews or the Google reviews. And I just said that they could be entered in the giveaway as long as they made a review about me and mentioned my name. So I had really good feedback from it, and it felt really good to see the reviews that people were leaving me.
Oh man, that's such a strong takeaway. You guys, if you have not tried this yet, please take a page out of Maddie's book and
Yes.
try it out for yourself. She is proof that even though she's a newer stylist, that she had to establish her clientele during the hardest times of most of our careers ever in history. That she has been able to grow her clientele just by using these strategies. It's just proof. Proof is in the pudding. Make sure you try these out. Go
Yes.
back to this, revisit it, take some good notes, and try to implement some of these retail strategies that Maddie has done. And I want to ask you, Maddie, what is a good way for everyone to get a hold of you or to find more information out about you?
Of course, the best way you can reach me is on Instagram at Maddie Ray Style. That's MADDIERAE Style. Don't don't hesitate to message me. I'd love to hear your feedback on the podcast.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so you guys heard it. You can find Maddie on Instagram. I will go ahead and link that below as well. So it's very easy for you guys to find. Don't forget, guys, we are here for you each step of the way. Find more information about our courses, coaching, and community linked in the show notes as well. We look forward to catching you next week. And until then, dream big, set goals, and take action.